All right, what's up? We've got several things that people have sent me to take a look at in today's debrief. Let's go.
Welcome to the Warrior Mindset Podcast. We're your guide as you make your way through life, getting better 1% every day. We believe that life is lived and true victory won through adversity. Nothing easy is ever worth it. We believe in the warrior ethos and support those that choose to walk that path.
So here's my man, Stuart Brower from the WTF Gym Talk, and he recently dropped this. He does a lot of these walking things. He's been on the show before. Love Stuart. We worked with him on some stuff with the gym several years ago. Awesome. By the way, your hair is immaculate. Let's see what he has to say here. Unpopular opinion.
Probably unpopular opinion. CrossFit is so big at this point. It is now a genre.
Right.
While it is truly a trademark and you can pay a fee to use the naming convention of CrossFit, the only thing you own is the actual naming convention.
Okay, I see where he's going with this. Yeah, so branded, non-branded, functional fitness, aka CrossFit gyms, like mine is a non-branded.
The practice of which will never be owned. And I can prove it to you like right now. So think about it like this. You own a CrossFit affiliate. You pay a fee to put the words CrossFit and that mark wherever you're allowed to put it.
Yeah.
The gym down the street is not a CrossFit affiliate, but it does constantly varied functional movements at high intensity. It does exactly what you do in practice. It doesn't call it what you call it. What is the difference? There's going to be a native, like people who are like, like dupes and ripoffs and knockoffs. And the bigger a brand gets, like Louis Vuitton, you can get a Louis knockoff bag. You can get a dupe Louis. But for the majority of the population who couldn't afford a Louis anyway, but the majority of population, it's going to be like good enough.
Right.
For those of you guys, and again, I was a CrossFit affiliate. I'm OG 2006. Like I'm here with you, right? And I'm not against you. This is not antagonist. This is just for conversation. What's the difference? Is there a difference in those two things, in being a CrossFit affiliate and doing CrossFit? And my question is, what is it can you actually own CrossFit, or when something is a methodology, a training style, can we accept the fact that nobody will ever own it? No one can ever own a training style unless you have a proprietary piece of equipment, which is impossible to keep proprietary. Mm-hmm. Will anyone own a training methodology?
We see a lot of this in martial arts. Recently with the Gracies trying to trademark the gift wrap. It's a certain type of a hold where you wind up with one hand pulling the other one around the neck and you're on top of them sort of on a mount or whatever. They were trying to trademark that, copyright that. I'm not really sure exactly what all they were trying to do there. We see this sort of thing. Everyone's trying to sort of lock in their business, especially like with, CrossFit. Whereas if you want that brand, and I will say several friends here in, my metropolitan area who are CrossFit affiliates, I think it does help. I think it has helped certain markets more than others. It will definitely help. I don't know that it hurts us at my gym, Warrior Fitness. I don't know that it really hurts. I think that there's also a market of people that want to kind of do CrossFit like stuff, but they don't want to do CrossFit per se in terms of being part of that brand necessarily, especially more recently with just the utter poopification of that brand, I will say. Stu's awesome. I want to look at one of these comments here as well, like this first one, the Fit Blonde. Call it what you want as long as you have quality programming coaches. With that being said, I would not go to a knockoff that has a Group X certified coach teaching complex barbell movements unless my goal was to get hurt. Then of course, Stuart responds, but what if the coach was of high quality? They had shitty certs, limited experience, but they were impressively qualified at their craft. I want to know whether your issue is with them being a knockoff or if it simply comes down to whether or not the coaching is high quality. Please tell me which CrossFit course teaches complex barbell movements. Yeah, I'll wait for that one too. And then she replies, no issue with a knockoff. Lots of certs are shitty anyways. My preference is quality. Okay, yeah. Okay, here we go. I was more so commenting on the brand versus knockoff concept mentioned. I don't have any CrossFit certs since I was training in CrossFit gym. For a limited period of time, I don't have a ton of familiarity with it. Right. I think that's a lot of what you're going to, he got a lot of interaction from this. And someone sent this to me for my opinion. We do functional movements. We do CrossFit style movements at our gym. We do, CrossFit light, maybe you could call it. We have a lot of older clientele in my gym, particularly. I think that some of the movements are way too complex and way too demanding from a coaching perspective to be done in a group fitness or small group fitness format, in my opinion. Lots of the gymnastic movements, lots of the barbell movements, particularly when you want to get heavier, require a lot of work, a lot of practice, a lot of coaching. I don't think you're going to be able to necessarily do that from a weekend certification, which is what the CrossFit Level 1 cert is. You're not going to get that, weekend just after 72 hours be able to come in and accurately coach people. You need to work. You need to work as a coach. You need to have done the studying, done the training or whatever. Then you need to work. You need to coach people under the tutelage of another coach. In my opinion, that's the best way to get to those higher level movements and things. You're not going to get that just from the word CrossFit, right? There's lots of other OPEX. There's lots of other Olympic lifts, powerlifting movements and things that require a lot of focus and effort over time. And you yourself personally have to train those things and build up. CrossFit will never own that, right? I don't know that CrossFit accurately is the wrong word. I don't know that CrossFit communicates that stuff anymore as much as it does a lot of the other things. Like, you've got the games and lots of I know I've spoken to a lot of people that don't have they're not like fans. They're not like, they love watching the industry and stuff. They're not those people. They don't know anything. They don't really care, and that's what I see. And I don't think it's as big of a deal as a lot of people are making it out to be. And we're seeing that. We're seeing tons of boutique style CrossFit ish in both terms of the movements they do and the way that they structure their classes and stuff. We're seeing a lot of that in the industry. We're seeing a lot of that in my area too. I see it everywhere. So I think it's just going to continue to grow. I think it's going to continue to be sort of that. And I think he's right. You're not going to own it. You'll never own it. You are just borrowing on the brand. The value of that brand is in the eye of the beholder. I think recently my opinion, it's diminishing in its value, and even more so that they raise their prices. So that's my take on it. So yeah, that's good stuff, Stu. And man, you sure know how to get people riled up. Good job, brother. Okay, yeah. So here we go. This one. We were talking about this in the gym the other morning, and several people have sent this to me, as well as I got this in an email newsletter about F45, which, a couple of years ago, me and my business partner at the time at the gym, we were traveling around in some cities that were near us, and we're trying different boutique style fitness gyms and their approach and stuff like that. F45 was one of the ones we tried, and I'll come back to that. But tying in with discussing CrossFit and different training methodologies and stuff. But this thing, this article on Wired, which I can't show you the Wired article because I'm not a paid subscriber. I'm sorry, I'm not going to pay money to Wired to read their random crap. So I used to be a huge fan, but it's kind of whatever it is. But the king of Ozempic is scared as hell. So you can get the gist of it from Instagram. Novo Nordisk, the world's slimming powerhouse, faces a risky future that has its CEO deeply concerned. So Novo Nordisk, they produce like half at least of what makes Ozempic. The semaglutides, GLP-1s, medicine. It's supposed to be a diabetic medicine. And I don't want to poop on you if you're taking it and it's helping you. The point of the article is that the CEO of the company that makes the semaglutides for these products is worried because he says that the people who actually need it, actual diabetics who need it, remember, it's originally a diabetic medicine. He's afraid they won't be able to get it because other people are using it as a weight control just for aesthetics. The market's now is huge. 424 billion market cap on this thing. Yeah, and he's worried. He's worried that they can't make enough, Yeah, so the production of the medicine, insulin, as well as the GLP-1s and stuff, is slower than the growth of people with diabetes or actual obesity, which is scary because they can't make the medicine fast enough. So if you actually have type 1 diabetes, you might not be able to get the medicine you want because somebody down the street is getting it so that they can just look thin, which is kind of messed up. So again, I'm not trying to poop on you if you're taking this and it's helping you or whatever, even if you're using it because there's no real medical reason that you couldn't do some of the other things that normies in the world do to lose weight and look better. You just take medicine, whatever. It is what it is. But yeah, that's worrisome though, that the CEO himself is worried that the people who actually need it for their medical condition might not be able to get it. That in Yahoo Finance is reporting F45, which is why I was talking about that earlier. F45 is expanding to offer weight loss prescription drugs with its new holistic approach. Athletech sent that out. F45's decision to integrate weight loss medications with Dr. B represents what analysts say is one of the biggest opportunities for the fitness industry. I wholeheartedly disagree that the fitness industry should get into selling GLP-1 medications. I think it's fucking disgusting. You're a gym. What are you doing? That's my personal and professional opinion is along with GLP-1s, F45 has fully embraced wellness and recovery as seen with its recent partnership with nutrition retailer GNC. Oh my God, as well as cold plunges. I'm going to predict it now that F45 probably won't be there by the end of 2025. These feel like the death throes of a company looking to do whatever the hell it can do to just respond to shit that it sees people might be buying. We saw the same thing, and I think the picture, which is funny that they don't have an actual picture of anything F45, which maybe it's F45's home training or whatever the fuck. But we saw the same thing with Peloton, where like during COVID lockdowns, like Peloton equipment sales went through the roof, and their market share was like huge and they were going crazy. And so then they invested all this, everything into, growth and whatever. And then as soon as people were able to actually go back to the gym again, they started like dumping the stuff. And then the company had to lay off a ton of people, and, it saw its market share plummet. It's like, did you guys not understand that? Did you not understand that, like, what was happening was because of the situation people were in? It's just crazy to me. So that's sort of my gut. It's like F45. If they're doing all this stuff, they're trying to sell GLP-1s. They're trying to sell cold plunges. They're partnering with GNC, which I don't know if you know this, but half of the shit that GNC sells is like useless. Like, it's not, you don't need it. I mean, we could go into that, and maybe we would. Maybe I'll get Heather back on the show and we'll just talk about nutrition and stuff. But like, half of that stuff, man, supplements, you've probably heard the saying that, like, you taking a bunch of supplements, you're just making very expensive pee, because it's just marketing and sales. And half of the supplements that people offer and sell are just like white labeled, resold crap that you can get wholesale anyway, which is what these guys are doing. And yeah, it just feels icky. I don't like it. And yeah, they're just trying to stay alive. So there you go. So that's my take on it. What do you think? Let me know what you think. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't think so, but yeah, there you go. All right, so I've got a couple of these that have been sent. I always get these ones with these doofuses that want to talk about fighting and stuff, which I'm here for it. I talk about this with my son all the time, about people who think they can fight. There's another channel, I'm pointing at my other screen, but another channel by Sensei Seth. You've ever seen that one? The guy's name's Seth, something like, I forget his last name. But anyway, he just did a video about, like, where he's like out in I think Central Park somewhere, and just asking people if they think they can fight and stuff like that. And the premise is like, why do people who don't do any training think they know how to fight? And I still don't understand that one. But somebody sent this to me.
What's the practical use of jujitsu? Well, if you and I were in a fight, that would kill you.
Victor, a jiu-jitsu match is not real life. I can throw this hypothetical 125-pound person. They can't do anything if I just slam them into the wall over and over and over and over again.
What's the practical?
It hurts my brain. So this Dalton Rowe, I don't know if this is Dalton or not. Let's see. I'm going to look. Maybe it is. Dalton. Looks like he's being sarcastic. Maybe. He's not using any jiu-jitsu there. Bro, what are you doing? Okay. Oh, one more. Let's see what we got. Yeah, thank you. That's probably more accurate. So I'm not really sure if he's being sarcastic or not. He's definitely getting armbarred here. This guy's not even. Yeah, there you go. Break his arm. So there's all these people that they just, like, apparently with his first video, they just think, oh, I'm strong, so, like, I can do this stuff. Yeah, no. Anybody with training is going to just tear you apart. And again, I this is a conversation I have all the time. I'm honestly getting a little bored with it, but yeah. So let's beer. I can't tell if that guy's like serious or sarcastic or whatever, but just because you're super strong doesn't mean that you're going to necessarily be able to do anything against someone who's very well trained. Proof and concept, my youngest son, I forget, he's going to get mad at me. He's 170 pounds or something. 6 feet tallish, 170 pounds, 180 pounds. So he's not a huge guy. Doesn't train jujitsu in terms of everyday training or whatever, like my other son does. But he knows enough because both me and my other son have taught him enough that he can make it useful. And literally witnessed him take on a guy who is, I don't know, 6 feet, like 240. Watch him take on a guy, take him down, swept him, put him in a rear naked choke, and the other guy tapped within 30 seconds. And also they kept going, and the other guy, like my youngest son, was like totally fine for the whole 4 or 5 minutes. The other guy within like a minute was like ready for oxygen tank. So just because you're big and like that guy, like, oh, he's strong, he's able to just like run over people, but that doesn't mean you're going to win. And just like the last video where he was going against someone with training, I don't remember if the guy's a black belt or whatever, but it doesn't matter, but he got armbarred. So yeah, that's how it's going to actually go. I don't care how strong you think you are. That's just the way it is. There's even this video of Conor McGregor. This is from a while back. Conor McGregor's bigger than this now, but of Conor McGregor sparring-ish with the Mountain. I forget his real name, but Thor Bjornsson played the Mountain in Game of Thrones. So this is Conor McGregor sparring with the guy. I'm not going to sit here and watch the whole thing, but you can see that, yeah, he's strong. He's bigger. He's way bigger. This is almost comical, the size difference. But there's just no way he's going to like be able to get his hands on him for real. Like if they were really fighting. And I want to say it's like more towards the end. Yeah, he was just giving up. So more towards the end, he's just gassed, right? Like, how far is this in? It's like 2.5 minutes in, trying to get his hands on McGregor, and he's just gassed. He's like, Jesus, I can't even breathe. Just kill me. And he just, just going to choke you out and end it. And it's kind of funny that that's the way that is. So here's this other one, Dustin Poirier. Let's see if I can find it. Yeah, where he's this is Brian Shaw, I think. I think, and Dustin Poirier doing a little jiu-jitsu, and this, he really has no training or whatever, but here we go. World's strongest man, and yeah, UFC bantamweight, welterweight champion Dustin Poirier just choked him out. And there was another aspect, where he let him start on top or something. Yeah, he lets him start on top, and he's able to just kind of smash him. And I don't think Poirier was able to really get up, but he showed him a little bit. He showed him like how to, shows him how to hold him down or whatever. So with 8 seconds of training, the world's strongest man is able to hold down the smaller man, just by knowing some dynamics of how it works. But as we saw, though, it's not gonna go well if you have some training and you don't, and you meet up, and it's just not going to go well for you. I think it's been proven time and time and time again. And since we're speaking of the fighting stuff, my friend Eric sent me this recently about, was it Eric? I don't remember. I talked to a lot of people about this guy, Wes Watson. If you're not familiar, or if you are familiar with Wes Watson, he's some mega clown, ex-con, now reformed-ish, mega Chad, like money coach, whatever. Just honestly a loser in my, super aggressive masculine bullshit. But there's lots of stuff you could look at for that. But yeah, it looks like he's going down. So this is from Penguin Zoe. I said that wrong. That's funny. Anyway, this guy is a YouTuber I like to watch every once in a while, but I agree with like 90% of what the guy says. But anyway, he does this whole breakdown, which is worth watching because he rips the guy apart, but rips Wes Watson apart. But the gadoosh god is in trouble. This is Wes Watson himself says he's getting gadooshed because people are like literally catching on to him. But anyway, this one guy, so if you disagree with Wes Watson on the internet or whatever, he will probably challenge you to a fight, from what I can tell. He does that a lot in the comments. And he did this to this one person, and apparently the person showed up. I don't think the person, I can't show the video. It's too violent or whatever. And I think there's some use case and stuff like that. So I've got it just frozen here. But this one guy showed up to the gym where Wes Watson was training and said, all right, I'm here. I don't think he necessarily went there to literally fight Wes Watson, but that's what happened. So the thing is, Wes Watson then said, he beat the guy up, and then he came out and said like he was attacked in the gym, and he defended himself. And he's got a video you can go find. But they found the security camera. Guys, there's always a security camera. Like, first of all, learn real martial arts. Go do something. Take at least a class or two so you can understand things. Secondly, don't be a wiener. Wes Watson is such a wiener. So he apparently, along with his 3 bodyguards or buddies, beat this guy up pretty bad. Wasn't self-defense like it turns out, but they also, even if it was, beat the guy up. And then you can see there's like 3 guys. There's one guy here. Gonna get in front. I can't get in front. There's one guy here. You see my mouse there. He hits him with a barbell, being a dumbbell. He hits him with it. These guys are like kicking him and pushing him down and holding him down. But all 3 of these guys get in on it. But then Wes Watson is just, I forget the number. It's like 30, 35, 40 times he's hitting the guy, just completely jacking him up. And then at the very end, when the guy is given up, the other guys walk away. Wes Watson comes back and soccer kicks him in the head like 2 or 3 times. So yeah, it looks like I'm following this now. I'm invested. I think Wes Watson's probably going to get in trouble, and I hope he does, especially being an ex-con. It's not going to look good on him. And he's like super aggressive and arrogant about just go listen to him, and once you're done throwing up in your mouth, you'll get a chuckle because it is funny. But yeah, I think he's going to get it. It's pretty funny. Stay tuned. But yeah, so if it was you, Eric, yeah, I'm laughing with you, man. This shit's funny. Okay, since we're talking about internet personalities, I gotta talk about this one. Particularly the subject matter of my podcast being the Warrior Mindset. And man, I think I did an episode on Tim Kennedy's book, Scars and Stripes. I've been a fan of his for a long, long time. I like the guy. I have spoken to a friend of mine who is a Green Beret, and he says that, correct me if I'm wrong. I know you guys, if you're listening, you're going to yell at me or whatever, but he tells me that the community, the Green Beret community, kind of hates this guy. Like the people that are still in service and stuff. I'm not really fans of this guy. I enjoyed his book. I will say when I was reading it, having been a fan of his, I thought it was 100% real. I thought it was all real world. I thought it was all accurate. Turns out it's a bit of a confusion over whether that's real or not. There's a lot of people who've come out, said that they were serving with him, or they have news, or they pull the receipts. You'll see in a few of them, where they're, describing this podcast in particular. I don't know if I have the right podcast or not, but these guys all got together with someone, the Anti-Hero podcast. Here we go. Where they all got together and like got with someone who was like his boss or served with him or whatever, and were like showing that he's not telling the truth. Some stolen valor. And this is sort of like, I think, part and parcel for some other stuff that's happening. Got some this other one, this David Hooksteed. It's just him talking here, but anyway, this guy, let's pull up his channel here. Anyway, this guy has done a bunch of these things where he's talking about like this one in particular here. There's some new stuff about the movie 13 Hours, where some of the actual Delta Force operators are coming out and saying that like that's not true, or they're all true, but there are parts that aren't necessarily true. I don't get it. Like, particularly like with Tim Kennedy, he's already a badass. Like, he's already like, he's a Green Beret. I think he's a Ranger. UFC champ. He's started and has several successful businesses. I don't know why he needs to, if he is indeed not telling the truth, I don't know why he has to embellish certain stories. Your stories are already badass. But along with that and the Benghazi stuff, and there's some other things you can look up with some of these people. They call it the vet bro. I saw one podcast where they're talking about the vet bro industrial complex, which is kind of a funny term, but all these like vet bro podcasters and stuff. And there's a bunch of them. And maybe it's because I've consumed so much of it over the past decade or so. It just rubs me like a lot of their personalities start to rub me the wrong way, and they just seem like they're shitting on each other. And it really bothers me that people are going to be doing that. I will tell you, through all of that, though, I still stay true to Mark Divine. In my opinion, he's sort of like the OG of this stuff. Yeah, he's selling stuff. Yeah, he's, selling his coaching and stuff. But he's always focused on helping others. He's always focused on master yourself, serve others, is where I got that from him. And he's always done that, even from Seal Fit to Unbeatable Mind to the stuff he's doing now. He's sort of changed his branding, and his podcast is a little different stuff. It's always focused on helping, and he never is selling his own like grandiosity, I just don't know why they can't be more like that. Why can't they just help? Why can't they just be, positive about it and not be so political? And it just it hurts my brain. And then to think about why like Tim Kennedy would need to embellish his stories in such a way. It's just silly. It's just maybe they are competing with each other. Maybe they are competing with each other, and they have to just keep upping and upping and upping and upping. I don't know. We'll see. It's but I've people have brought that up to me a lot, I guess because of who I am and the things I've been into over the years, but people have brought the Tim Kennedy thing up a lot, and somebody recently pointed out the Benghazi thing to me, and um yeah, man, I love that movie, and I've read the book, and I read Chris Peranto's book, and um that, I do, to a certain extent, look up to some of those people for the things they stand for. And, and I guess it does hurt a bit to, you know, they say never meet your heroes. And there's probably a lot of reality to that. Although I have met him, and Mark Divine is a good man. And yeah, he had nothing to get out of us, and he was nice and helpful, and he spoke with us, and he spent an hour of his time with me, and yeah, just didn't get the bad vibe that I've gotten from some of the other people that I've met too. So I don't know where I was going with that, other than yeah, we're talking about Wes Watson and people on the internet making mistakes, and it seems like Tim Kennedy's made some big ones, and we'll see where that goes. I'm staying tuned for sure. And yeah, I'll talk to you more about it if you want. Just hit me up. All right, so that was a journey, to say the least. I hope it didn't get too negative or anything, but some of that stuff's just fun to think about. So yeah, consider where you are in life, and learn from the issues that other people create in the world. So there you go. Send me stuff. I want to look at stuff, even if it's absurd or silly, or you're tuning into something that I'm checking out too. So let's see what we got. Send it on in. You can find a link there, and hit me up. So until we do another thing, get after it, y'all.